Hey guys, HuShang here. Welcome to another Starcraft 2 lesson. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys 3 different ways to be aggressive against Protoss players. So the first one I have here, actually let me share my screen. Let's see, full screen. Okay, so I have 3 different attacks we can go over. So the first one is a quick all-in. This can actually be different drone counts depending on the units, but it's basically 2.5 base saturation. One of these is for roaches, one of these is for hydras, and this type of all-in is going to be hitting super fast. You don't need any evo chambers because it hits too quickly, and it's really all-in. Like there's really no transition unless you do like major damage at their third and you can't kill them on their natural for whatever reason, but that would be pretty weird, honestly. So you don't really transition from this. The second one I want to show you guys is more of a standard 3 base setup. So you're going to get 66 workers and you can get an evo chamber. It's kind of designed to do a lot of damage to them on 3 base. So what I see frequently from students is they get, this kind of setup where they're equal on workers with Protoss and then they try to macro. So if you're doing that in your games, you're definitely putting yourself really behind. You kind of need to be attacking with this type of style. And then the last one is more of an aggressive macro style. I'll show you guys. So in this one, you can play much higher drone counts. You can play like 75 workers, and there's some other features as well. Like we're not going to take a lot of gas if you want to play aggressive macro. So I'm going to play through all 3 of them. This first one we're going to go over is the 52 drone, or roughly 52 drone style. So there's 2 different ways you can do an all-in, at least in this matchup, on this amount of drones or this idea. You can go for a 52 drone roach all-in, or you can go for a 55-ish drone hydra all-in. So I'll start here. We need to start here because if your plan is to do something like this, you need really quick gas to make a fast layer. Oops. So we'll make our overlord. Actually kind of started at a weird time. I should have made an overlord right when I started the game, but that won't change too much. So we've put these guys in on 34. This might change a little bit depending on your opening. Like if you like to put one guy in gas. But basically what we're going to do is try to get a 340-ish or 345 layer. Actually, we're even earlier than that, which is fine. Let's grab that. Queen. We're droning pretty hard here. And you actually want to take these gases really quick. So we're going to go 5 since we're doing a Hydra build. And now we're going to get up to the drone count we want. This is probably the simplest build you can, or one of the simplest builds you can learn as a new player. It's going to do really good against all-ins. So no evos, just get straight to 52-ish drones. This one's 55 since we're playing Hydra. Make all your overlords while you're waiting for the Hydra den. A little oversaturated there. Let's move them back to the natural. Make 1 extra overlord. Grab our upgrades. We'll try to do these one at a time. Usually when I macro, I'm actually queuing them up. But since this is a pretty tight all-in, I'm going to do them one after another. So we stopped at 55. We're massing Hydra. We can move out maybe at 6 or so. We don't need to rush across the map or anything, I don't think. Let's see. We just want a decent amount so he can't kill our units as we're crossing the map. Honestly, this is probably good already. So 545. Let's make our overlords. Let's get our second upgrade. And this attack is pretty strong because it's going to hit before Protoss has a chance to fully develop their gateways. Let me turn the sound off. So when you do this kind of push, you're kind of exploiting that little window where they're only on their tech plus their 3 gates. And you're taking advantage of your Hydra tech coming in here pretty fast. So even though this is a fairly small army, you're hitting a window where, you know, unless Protoss is doing some sort of like 2-base build or something weird, then you're going to hit a very annoying timing that's difficult for them to deal with unless they really know exactly what you're doing. So first type of timing, you can also do this with roaches. It's very slightly different. It's just 52 workers and 4 gas, not 5. So this is the first type of build you can do. This one's super easy. So I'd recommend if you're below diamond, you try something like this out just to work on your mechanics. It's a pretty good one to practice spending your money. Oh, I don't know why I left the full game here. Let's go back in here. And let me pull up that notepad again. Where did it go? Okay, so the second one we want to go over is a standard 3-base timing. And this one's a little more solid because you have a lot of like you can defend against 2-base all-ins. Like if you do the first build, you're kind of in a lot of weird positions if they don't play normal. Whereas with this build, if they do any cheese, you're kind of set up to defend that anyways. So this one's a little more easy to climb the ladder with, I would say. So let's go to about here. You can I guess you can still go for a fast layer with this type of build, but generally it's a little more macro focused. So let's go. Let's go about here, I think. So we're just getting our 3rd queen. And then we're gonna go 34, 36. I'm gonna put 34 here. 36 here. Fill the gas around now, so slightly later. I mean, you could probably do the same time. It's not going to make a huge difference, but we'll try to get like a 4-minute layer. Okay, so I'm gonna go 2 gas with this one. We're gonna get our layer here at 4. So much more standard. Let's fill this up. And since we're gonna be playing a little bit longer than the first one, you need to be doing some checks to make sure that Protoss is not all-inning you. Because the first build we did is actually, maybe not with the Hydras actually, but the first build we did was actually a pretty good defense against all-ins. So this one we gotta make sure that we're not getting all-in. This roach warren timing might change depending on what opening you're facing. We're not gonna really talk about that. But you wanna make sure that they have a 3rd base, or maybe 4 or 430. If they don't have this, then you wanna chill here at this worker count, 52, 54. And not go past it, because if you go past it, you're gonna die to the all-ins. So, but if you do see that if you do see them get their third base, then you can keep going. You can get your hydrogen. Make an evo. Let's get our evo chamber. We'll get the roach speed maybe. Get your fourth base. And then from here is where we're gonna stop. Why do I have 2 queens here? I don't know what's going on with the queens. So we're gonna stop here at 66. Make our overlords, get our upgrades going, start making our hydra. So it's very similar to the other one, except we're at a higher drone count. Let me just turn off my Discord. The difference is that we can't really hit Protoss the same way we just did, because if you do a push now, they're gonna have their gates done. So we're hitting a different window where they do have gates done, but they might not have storm. So you don't necessarily want to have only hydra for this kind of push, or if you do, it would be against like air toss. You know, like a Stargate opening maybe. So let's make some hydra here. But let's also get some roaches. It's going to balance out your money a bit better anyways as well. So if you just go pure hydra, you're going to need more gas. And this style, let's actually get overlord speed too, because this type of style works really good if you do some sort of big attack, like drops or something. So you can see here, we can kind of afford full hydra, but not exactly. So we'll move these across. You don't actually need any queen over here. Let's do another round of hydra, some more roaches. +1's gonna be done. We'll get the ranged, and you can do some sort of drop like this. You could also just push the front. Now, if they're going for a fourth base here, you should just win the game, because Protoss isn't really supposed to have the same amount of workers as you. So we have 66, they have 66. They should just die, in theory. If Protoss is staying on their 3 base though, that means they're playing this against us correctly. I wonder if there's even enough overlords. Yeah, it's pretty good. So if they're on 3 base, that means they're playing against us correctly. They shouldn't really be going past 3 base against this. But you're gonna have a ton of army, and you can push them pretty hard here. Even if they do have 3 base, you can probably make something happen. It's a pretty hard attack to hold. They're not going to be used to you coming in their main or having, you know, this many units at this time. Just make sure that you don't, you know, do this type of opening where you're stuck here at 66 and try to macro into like lurkers or something, because you're really not set up for that type of thing. Okay, so this is a really aggressive 3 base timing. Okay, so this last style I want to show you guys is much more of a tempo-based macro style. So we're not really all in here at all. We're definitely playing a macro game, but you're setting up your economy in a way that it's much more focused on attacking. So you can see here I'm doing a lot of the same things as the last game I showed you guys. We're still at 66 workers, in fact, so like you could do either play from right here. But we're about to get our attack upgrades, we're about to get our hydra upgrades. The main difference is you need to do another scout to make sure they're not doing some sort of like 2.5 base all in. Let's go for melee actually. So you have to do a little scout here and just make sure they're not doing a 2.5 base all in, and then you can keep droning. As long as you do that little safety check, you should be okay. Let's get our Bane nest. So we droned up first. Then we make the Hydra. we're at 75 workers. Let's get a queen over here as well. So for this type of build, your game plan's not really to push them on their 3 base. In fact, if you push them on their 3 base, you're probably just going to lose the fight and lose the game. And then you're going to get on the balance forums and I'm going to read it and I'm going to be annoyed. So don't all in here. You need to be patient because this is much more macro focused. Like we're getting, you know, a bunch of upgrades. We're getting a lot of drones. So you just don't have the same amount of units to push Protoss yet. Let's make like, I don't know, 20 Hydra-ish. Set up some overlords. I'm actually going to be making a lot of Ling with this style, so I probably should have got a macro hatch. But that's fine. Small change. Let's get our 5th as well. And then our plan is to attack. So we're waiting for Protoss to take a 4th, basically. Let's actually put some Lings here. So we're waiting for Protoss to take their 4th base, and then we can pressure them. Obviously, there's things they can do to react to what you're doing, but the basic game plan is once they take a 4th, you can now put some pressure on. And I mean, the more they're attacking and being greedy, the more likely this is to work out well for you. Or the more likely it is that you can actually continue with this attack. You can always pull back, obviously. Let's get +2. Let's kill these units from the AI first. But we want to make a lot of Banes. Something like this. And we're trying to deny their 4th base here. So come in here, press this pretty heavily. You got a lot of Banes coming in, you got some good upgrades, but we're really aggressive here because we don't have a lot of tech going for us. Like, yeah, we have the Hydra and the Banes, but we don't have like a second Evo, for example. We're not really teching into Hive too quickly. And we don't have a lot of resources for something like Lurker, right? So it's really important to set your economy up like this with not too many gases if you want to play aggressive. There are some exceptions, like I think you can kind of play aggressive with Lurkers with more gas, but it's a little bit sketchy. So I think this way is much better if you want to play aggressive. Hydroling Bane, 75 6 gas, and can push pretty heavily on the Protoss 4th. So anyways, that is all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel. Got lots more StarCraft 2 videos on the way. So I will, yeah, that's all for today. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.